boat and
Yeah, dude.
thinking rise. So yeah, email paid attention.
Dude, I love it. Cool.
Okay.
So I guess from there we should go into like maybe like a little bit of an intro or something almost. Like
Hmm.
what, you know, why we're here, why we're doing this.
Yep.
And we can get things rolling.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Okay. Yeah, let's do it.
Sweet. You want to
Let's
go
kick it
first?
off. Okay, so I guess we'll just do a little intro. All right, this is Gavin's and my what do we call this? A podcast?
Yeah, dude. I
This
guess
is a podcast.
a podcast, a weekly deep dive, just two guys who are really in the thick of it, like, with clients right now, both guys that have had a collective handful of clients and are just, very deep and interested in email marketing and just marketing in general. And,
Hmm.
um, you know, I think a reason we wanted to do this, like, is not necessarily to go high on the podcast charts or anything, but to provide information to, small businesses, all businesses really,
Hmm.
like what is actually legit? What have we seen work with our clients? And, what
Hmm.
is noise? Like, what should you avoid? What should you not waste your time on?
Exactly.
We've been in the thick of it for like, I don't even know how long, 2, 3 years now, and
Hmm.
just have really seen our skills grown to the point where it almost feels like selfish to not share the information we have on some level. So
Yeah.
um, I think that's kind of where we're at with it right now, like just providing some type of free resource to the person who
Hmm.
could really benefit from this and really start to see growth in their business. So
Exactly. Yeah. At the end of the day, like I want this to be something that for the person who does have a business, they can tune into it and there's always like a takeaway, like
mhm,
an immediate just applicable strategy that they can start deploying and
mhm.
then start seeing results from. And I think yeah, since we're both like in the thick of it, we are literally doing this for clients. Uh we can definitely give that, a practical, what do I call it? Just something practical for you to literally
Mhm.
go out and try and see results.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. I think the best thing too about email, like why Diego and I are so fond of it, is essentially just because anyone can really get started with it. Like it is social media it is some type of like social media.
Hmm.
It's just a marketing platform at the end of the day. It's not really, cost infringent unless you're
Hmm.
hiring someone. Like
Hmm.
anyone can go down and sit and write an email about that day and relate it back to their business. And I think a lot of businesses would benefit from doing that daily. And that's what
Hmm.
we're going to talk about. But yeah,
Yeah.
I think I guess you could call this a podcast at the end of the day, but it is like a deep sit down, every single week and just talking about like what's going on, what could potentially help. And then
Hmm.
also too, like, Diego and I are more than happy to uh if you have a super specific question that we don't cover, like you can just reach out to us and we'll just tell you the answer for free. Like I
100%.
think that's ultimately why we do this at the end of the day. This is where we get our fulfillment from, is just helping businesses with
Yeah.
their marketing and ignoring all the other noise that there's essentially just a bunch of stuff out there on social media right now, and
Hmm.
we just want to help people, like, realize essentially what they should be focusing on and what they shouldn't. So
Yeah. And as like corny or nerdy as it sounds, like, dude, we just love diving into this stuff. Like,
yes,
it's weird. It might
dude.
be weird to somebody that's not like, what email marketing, dude,
Yes, dude.
that's so dumb. But it's like,
Diego,
nah, we love
Di-
this stuff, dude.
dude, we really do. And like over the past year, like I think we've both just really dove into it so much more. Like aside from, my family and my girlfriend, Diego's probably the person I talk to the most. Like
For
I'll
real.
literally just text him and be like, "Yo, I'm in the car for the next 45 minutes. You want to
Yeah.
jam?" And then like
Yeah.
it's so easy for that 45-minute call to turn into like a 4-hour call if you want. Like right before this,
Literally.
we were talking about, you know, we were talking for literally what, like almost 45 minutes at this
Almost
point.
45 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think at the end of the day, like it really is like passionate,
Hmm.
motivated, and us talking about this is truly from a point of us being really passionate about marketing.
Yeah.
So
100%. Well,
Yeah.
yeah, we had some bullet points here for certain things we wanted to dive into. Like we mentioned, there's a lot of voices out. There's so many things that you could be doing in your business right now. Um, and some of them are good. Some of them might be totally pointless to be focusing on. And so what we wanted to just share for this rest of the episode is where should you be putting your attention?
Hmm.
What should you be doing going into 2026 to grow your business,
Hmm.
to generate more sales, to see an increase in conversions, all the good stuff, everything that just takes your business from where it is right now to where you want it to go. And I guess the first place for this, or the first topic here, um, do you want to just say like what systems? Do you want to go into that one?
Yeah, I think essentially we have like, just to get started, we have like 5 questions that we get um that come up in client work, and then also
Hmm.
just what we see buzzing around the marketing space
Yeah.
in general too, like what's top of mind for these people right now. So we really have like 5 questions that we want to cover as like
Hmm.
the basis of because essentially there's levels to this game. We're not going to come on and pitch, you need a VSL script with this
Hmm.
insane hook and all this stuff. Like most people
Yeah.
aren't at that level yet, so it's just like, hey, what can
Hmm.
you start implementing now to see results and money in your business, extra money in your business, today? Like what's that going to be? So we kind of
Hmm.
came up with 5 questions. And the first one here would be, you know, the problem, I guess you could say, of like too many strategies, lots of voices in general. Like, what should you be focusing on if you're a business in 2026? Is that social media? Is that email marketing? Um,
Hmm.
are you bringing people on to hire you? Or are you hiring? Are you outsourcing work? What does that look like for a business in 2026? Where should you put your focus? Um, and yeah, so I
Yeah.
Diego can probably start it off, like what he thinks about it, and then we'll
Okay.
probably jump from there.
Well, yeah, before saying one specific thing, it's always going to lead back to what is your main goal.
Hmm.
And I think for this one, let's just kind of put it at, we're focusing on, because right, like we could get more high, we could talk about hiring and growing the team, and being able to fulfill more, in the business with the product and everything. But I think in our case, let's just stick with the actual conversions and bringing people into your funnel, into your ecosystem and converting them into paid clients. So I think the practices, the best practices right now is definitely to focus on growing a list of people who are your core audience, your core target
Hmm.
audience. And really that comes to, like I said, just growing a list of these people. Um, and the reason for that is essentially there, I think you could go into this one, the shiny quarter versus the moldy pennies.
Yeah,
Gavin breaks this down really good.
yeah.
Um,
So I think too, like maybe to preface for business owners as well, it's like, you know, there's these different mediums, and there's all these different marketing platforms like newspaper and email
mhm,
marketing and social media. There's Twitter, there's Facebook, there's Instagram. What email marketing platform do I use? Like, I think the standard for any real business is like, you know, depending on what you do, social media is definitely an important factor. Like, you can use that to almost grow your email list. And then,
yeah.
if I were to say like 2 things, I think Diego would agree with this, is like, put as much attention into your email list as you are into social media, but focus on them equally as much.
Hmm.
Like, those 2 things are going to serve you really well. If you
Yeah.
only focus on doing that in 2026, like you would really be 10 times off than you were last year.
Yeah.
And you don't even really, there's Instagram, there's Facebook, there's Twitter, there's all this stuff. You can just pick one platform and then also just, segue these people into your email list too.
Hmm.
Start with one and just see how it goes. Eventually, the goal is to have, um, kind of build your own little world and have all these people immersed in your Facebook and your Instagram, and just build out every single platform. That way,
Yeah.
if Instagram ever goes down, that you have them on Facebook. If Facebook ever goes down, you have them on Twitter. Like, you want to spread to as many platforms as general. but really
Yeah.
put your focus into, I would pick one social media platform and then one email list as well, and
Yeah.
then just go from there
It's
and
that
see how it
combo right
goes.
there. The combo of a
Yeah.
social, but then always bringing it back to the list.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what Diego was saying about the shiny quarter versus moldy pennies,
Hmm.
when it comes to actually growing an email list, like how do you go about that? How do I get people on my email list? Like what are the first steps to take there? For most businesses that we work with, a lot of the grunt work there comes through social media. Like usually the people that we're working with
Hmm.
already have a bit of a following, and
Yeah.
it's very easy to attach some type of many chat and get people onto their list. But
Hmm.
what we say when we talk about shiny quarter versus moldy pennies is a lot of people believe they need to have 10,000, 50,000 people on their email list, when in general
Hmm.
it's just like, hey, uh, if I put out this promotion of telling people to sign up to my email list, and there was only four people who signed up, right?
Hmm.
And all those four people bought, and you compare
Hmm.
that to another business that put out a promotion and 10,000 people signed up to their email list. So
Hmm.
one business brought in 10,000 people with one post into their email list, and then another business brought in four people with one post into their email list. So four
Hmm.
versus 10,000. And then in that email list, say there's, that just the four people on this email list and then 10,000 people on this email list. If
Hmm.
they send out an email trying to sell their offer and then only two people buy it, compared to
Hmm.
if they send out an email trying to sell to the four people that are on their list and all four people buy it, obviously we still want this list. So
Hmm.
I think, one thing we try to talk about is like you want to make sure you're building your list correctly at the end of the day. You don't want
Hmm.
all these people coming onto your list essentially for, just the free thing that you have to
Yeah.
offer. Like you want qualified leads at the end of the day.
Hmm.
It doesn't matter if your list has 50,000 people or 500.
Exactly.
There's a bunch of lists that only have 500 people on them that are running
Hmm.
laps around people with 50,000 person
Yeah.
email lists, just because they got them onto the list in a correct way.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah, a
so
lot of people do. I would say add to that that
mhm,
I have seen this goes to even Instagram followers. Like
mhm,
there's the influencers out there that have the 10 or 100,000 plus, near millions of followers on Instagram. And let's say they try to start some offer, but it's like, and if they try to promote it, but only see like, I don't know, a couple hundred, sales.
mhm,
It's like, okay, the problem with that is the people who are following you are not these are not buyers. These are just people following you because you had something cool, maybe like a cool Instagram reel or something
mhm.
really funny. So it's like the
Yeah.
messaging is totally off. It has nothing to do with um, they're not there for the reason, like for the purpose of that offer that you made.
Mhm,
And I have some experience with a client right now. I have two. Like one has like thousands of followers, like maybe 14,000,
mhm,
and then the other one has like close to 200 or something like that, 200,000. And then it's like the one that has the least followers is making the most sales because they are just focusing on that one person, that one client avatar, let's say.
mhm,
Whereas other ones kind of going more for a virality, right? And
mhm,
so it's the wrong purpose. And so that goes straight into the email list too. It's like when you're creating a lead magnet, when you're creating some kind of intrigue to get people onto your email list, and the way you set it up, that's gonna, dictate if you get the right person onto that list versus
mhm,
getting them, if that's gonna dictate if you get that shiny quarter or the moldy penny.
mhm,
And so, of course, we want shiny quarters. We want
mhm.
the buyers. We want people who are gonna be on your list because they want to hear from you and they want what you offer. And so yeah, that's I think that kind of wraps up why it's essential to focus on that, on
Mhm.
growing a list and focus on the right people. Um,
Yeah. I
yeah.
think definitely a lot there, but in terms of takeaways, it's like, I think of people that do giveaways like, hey,
Hmm.
give me your email and sign up for a
That's
giveaway.
true.
Give me your phone number, your email, and sign up for a giveaway. You
Yeah,
know, half the people that sign up for that, you could even say more, like three quarters, don't even know what company is running the giveaway at the end of the
exactly.
day. It's just like a
Yeah.
poor way to set up your list. That is what we would refer to as like a moldy penny lead. And we're not
Hmm.
referring to people as like a moldy penny or a shiny quarter. It's just like the quality of their lead at the end of the day. Are they a shiny quarter coming in? They read a couple emails and then instantly buy, or are they moldy penny? They're going to sit on the list, not open any of your emails. So
Yeah.
we think of this all stems back to the lead magnet. How are you building the lead magnets? Are you just creating something free that they can just uh, you know, read and just kind of forget about,
Hmm.
right away? Or is it actually some type of resource that they're going to keep going back to and
Hmm.
actually benefit from and remember you solely because of that free resource you gave them?
Right.
So I think Diego and I are at a point where we're trying to steer clients away from, the standard like free ebook and like, hey,
Hmm.
maybe I just recorded this 30-minute sit down video about whatever your market is into and how they can go from product A to product Z or whatever, and
Yeah.
giving them some insane value in that, where they're actually it's worth putting in their email and they're going to remember you and they're going to want to learn more going forward, and they're that shiny quarter lead compared to the moldy penny. So
Yep.
I think the takeaway there is just think outside the box when you're coming to creating these lead magnets. At the end of the
Exactly.
day, it's not always about having 10,000 people on your email list.
Yeah.
If you have 500 people that are solely equipped to your offer in your market and really warm leads, that's going to be way better than 100,000 people that aren't. So
I think one of the mistakes I've seen some business owners make is when it comes to those lead magnets, they kind of put it on like it's like a back burner kind of thing. And
yep.
it's just like, like this is not really driving sales. And so that's why they just put something together. It's kind of sloppy. It's
Mhm.
like, whatever. We just hopefully this works.
Mhm.
And it's like that's kind of the problem. That's why your email list or whatever you're trying to grow, it's like that this is why you don't have the right audience there in the first place
Mhm.
because you're not really putting thought into creating something that's really valuable
Mhm.
and people can keep coming back to and benefiting a lot from. Uh, and dude, that all stems back to also just always being of service and like thinking about your market and wanting to help them because that's
Mhm.
just gonna all like it's gonna stack like the trust that they have in your product and you especially, and that's what's gonna get them returning to buy more of the other offers you offer, things like that. So.
Mhm.
It's a no-brainer to put a lot of thought into serving your market, and that goes into the lead magnets. Of course, that goes into your products.
Mhm.
And yeah, and that's naturally gonna bring you those shiny quarters. I'd say
Mhm.
that it's just a no-brainer.
Yeah. Another thing too,
Mm.
real quick, and then we can move on to the next question here. Um, you know, we talk about growing an email list. We talk about potentially using ManyChat on social media, which you're probably already familiar with. Um, Another way to grow your email list is literally just starting to focus on what you're writing to your email list. Like, are you providing them with some type of value, um, while also selling in the emails that you're putting out? And we'll dive into this towards the end, I think, a little bit with the AI conversation. But,
Hmm.
like, are you writing emails that are fun to read at the end of the day? Like, people want to, if I'm on an email list, uh, uh, I really like look forward to like a select 4 or 5 email list every single day. Like, I think for
Yeah,
Diego, both and I, like we literally like love reading Ben Settle emails, and half the time we don't even we're not even buying stuff from him. It's just like we literally just love to see what he's going to send. Like, he keeps us on our toes every single day. So it's like,
literally.
how can you create that for your offer, your market, whether it's talking about fitness or motocross, or literally you're a
Hmm.
bakery, like what went on in the bakery right now, like how can you make
Hmm.
that a fun email to read? That alone, that too is going to create you know more people coming onto the list, because people will share that with friends. I'll forward
Yeah.
emails to Diego all the time, and family
Hmm.
members as well. So that is definitely another way to
Yeah.
grow the email list too. And that's going to be a really shiny quarter as well, because
Hmm.
referrals is the best way to make sales. I mean,
Exactly.
Diego and I can tell that from just from what we do for work. Like the best
Yeah.
clients of mine have always come from referrals. So,
Hmm.
and I think that that's true for every single business. So,
Yeah.
another way to grow the list there too.
Yeah.
Um,
I think tying it all together again, just with the big takeaway, it's just
yeah.
thinking outside of the box, the creativity.
Hmm.
And I guess if we're talking creativity, we have a point here that's kind of towards the end. It might be worth getting into right now.
Yeah,
AI.
you want to dive into it? Yeah,
Let's
yeah, yeah,
do
sure, we can
AI.
do it.
Because,
Yeah.
dude, I mean, creativity killer, man. It's
Yeah.
this thing, AI. It's
Hmm.
everyone's talking about AI. Everyone's, you know, they all have their, I don't know what to call it, like a love for it.
Hmm.
And it's like a thing that they could
More of an
either,
obsession.
it's an obsession. It's man. It sucks because us as copywriters and marketers, like we know that AI is not going to come up with the creative things that your list or your audience wants to read. It
Hmm.
just can't. It can't. It doesn't know. Like for example, you're saying about the bakery. It doesn't know what happened at the bakery that day.
Hmm.
It doesn't
Yeah.
know what happened last weekend with your wife on the trip to New York. It did.
Yeah.
There's just all these things that it can't do. But
Hmm.
yeah, I guess I can go on a rant about that, but where do
Yeah.
we really want to take this here, Gavin?
No. Yeah. I mean, I think I'll start with what we were talking about earlier. Like, um, you know, Black Friday week last week,
Mm,
Diego and I are just coming off that. I think, I'm thinking about AI in a terms of, people using it to do their marketing, maybe
yeah,
specifically writing is what we
writing.
see the most of. Like, I'll give AI its flowers. It's useful for some stuff,
It is.
useful for collecting data, spreadsheets, all that stuff. When it comes to marketing, and I guess you could say specifically copywriting, AI is literally probably the worst thing you could do to market your business. And
Hmm.
any business owner that is consistently doing it is
Hmm.
leaving sales and money on the table. Um, and I think, what some might fail to see, the people that are using AI consistently, is that you're essentially just grouping yourself together with all these other people that are using AI, which is a lot
Yeah.
right now. Like
Oh yeah.
probably like 50% of the email list that I'm on, like it's so easy for Diego and I to just pin out whoever's using it. And I
It
think a
is.
lot of people are noticing that too on social media. Like I
Yeah.
will be scrolling on an Instagram and I'll see a carousel and I'll start reading it. And it's literally like, you're staring at a painting and you can pick out a figure, but then once you start
Hmm.
to analyze the words, you're like, what does that even mean?
Yeah.
Like, I don't even know what this person is trying to convey to me right now.
Right.
It's just not great from the
Hmm.
messaging standpoint of things. And I don't think
Hmm.
most people understand that.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, it's just like, I think if I think about it from somebody who's running a business, they want that, they want high standard. I think it all stems from like they want high standard content. Like who doesn't want to put out
Right.
effective marketing into the world through their social media? Like they want to make sure it's perfect and that the people are going to connect with it and that they're going to pull people into their business and that,
Hmm.
they're going to provide with some type of value. But I think they get lost in that. It's just like, hey, let me just shovel this into an AI prompt and try to figure it
Hmm.
out and make it perfect. When,
Yeah.
if they were to just sit down and take that time, all that time they spent typing things into AI, they could have written something up that was like 100 times
Way
better than
better.
AI. I
Yeah.
think people really resonate, and this is what Diego and I see. Um, People are really going to resonate with the non-perfect stuff, like the
The
real
flaws.
life stuff,
Just
the
yeah.
flaws. Like, I talk about in my emails on my daily email list, like not specifically for clients, but in my emails, I put
Hmm.
typos in there all the time. Like I think it's real. Like I'm not gonna, you're crazy if you think if I'm writing an email to my email list every single day, I'm not gonna analyze every single thing for typos. Like it's just real.
Yeah.
And I think nobody's ever not bought, Ben Settle, nobody's ever not bought from him because of a typo.
No.
Um, and it doesn't
Exactly.
necessarily only have to be the typo thing. It's just like people can tell when there's life behind words and when there's
Hmm.
not. And I don't think the person who's coming from a point of really just trying to make their marketing good, like coming from that place, which is a good place to hold. Like they care
Hmm.
about their work, they care about it so much that they're putting it into the machine to make it perfect, but they just get
Yeah.
completely lost within that. It's just like they're missing the whole point. It's like,
Hmm.
dude, the work you need to put out is literally sitting there right in your mind, and it's
Hmm.
okay to get that out, even if it isn't perfect compared to, just grouping yourself together with the rest of the people that are using AI.
Yeah.
Um,
I
and that's
think
kind of my standpoint on it,
yeah,
amongst other things. But yeah,
yeah, we can go on and on about this. I
yeah.
want to add, it goes back to, I heard this from someone, but it was very powerful. It stuck in my mind. Like when it comes to writing an email, right? It's like a simple thing. It really doesn't have to be this complicated thing, but and there's people that are trying to use AI to save time. Maybe like they just think they don't know how to write an email, so
Hmm.
they put it into ChatGPT, put it into whatever AI tool, and it spits it out, whatever, and they use that.
Hmm.
Now, the thing is with email, like, and honestly with all channels of communication, like even Instagram. The videos that do like really well are like those what do they call it? Just selfie videos. And it's just
Yeah,
like you're
yeah,
talking. It's
yeah.
raw, it's real. And
Hmm.
so when you have a message that you really care about, when you have a an offer and you have an audience that you want to serve, you don't need an AI to come and like bring that out of you. You know, you already
Hmm.
have that. You have like what you were saying, everything that you need to say is already in your mind. It's just
Hmm.
about putting it out there, and it doesn't matter if it's perfect. That's like
Hmm.
the big emphasis. I think a lot of people, and I have had this too, and I've even shared that with you. Like,
Yeah.
oh, dude, I'm worried about it being perfect. And
Hmm.
it's a killer, dude. It's a
Yeah.
growth killer, and everybody, I'm sure at some point has dealt with this. Like, they just want to make sure everything is perfect. And it's like a
Hmm.
control that once you let go and you just run with it, not only are you going to pump out more things faster, the beauty of it in email specifically is that the nature of just being a human,
Hmm.
it's going to like compound with the trust.
Hmm.
And again, back to the moldy penny or moldy pennies and shiny quarters, you're going to be filtering through your messaging. You're going to be getting people that were the moldy pennies to drop out, which is what we
Hmm.
want. And we're going to keep the shiny quarters and growing more of a list that is built of shiny quarters. So it's just like this big snowball effect. If you just
Yeah.
uh, literally don't even think about using AI for things like that for writing,
Yeah.
it's you're gonna just see your business grow with the people that you want it to have in there, people
Mhm.
connecting with you a lot more, and it's yeah, AI.
This is how I kind of see it. It's like, from a business perspective, maybe you're a founder, or
Hmm.
you're just curious about like email marketing in general. It's just like, you know, if you actually care about communicating through email, the best thing about writing daily emails, the first week, Diego and I talk about this all the time. It's like that first week is so tough to get it out
Sucks,
there,
bro.
and like be so non-judgmental about it. But
Yeah.
you really like, once you get past like the 7 days where you've put out consistent messaging to your email list, not only do you start to get like less judgmental with yourself, like people will be
Hmm.
responding to the emails all the time. They'll be like, "Oh, I really resonated with that message. Thanks for sharing." And then two, you're
Hmm.
going to get insanely better at writing emails too.
Yeah.
It's like it really is a practice. It's a skill. Like the more you do it,
The better
the
you get.
more you're going to be at. And if that's not your goal at the end of it, then literally just delegate it, outsource it to someone. Because if you're using,
Hmm.
AI every time you write an email, I think you're essentially just spinning your wheels. So
Yeah.
it's just not even worth it at the end of the day.
Yeah. And yeah, I'll admit it, I think maybe you have too. You've
Yeah.
plugged it, you've tried the AI
Yeah.
stuff. Oh, dude, I've wasted so much time just trying to get
Hmm.
it perfect.
Hmm.
And you start to lose sense of like, dude, what is this even for? This is an email
Hmm.
at the end of the day. The faster that this can get out, the more you can move on to the next one and then start
Yeah.
building that one out. And so, yeah, it's just like a time thing, but also once you know your market, which you should, you're a business owner, dude, just that's all you got. That's all you need right there. Just,
Yeah.
you had something on in your mind about how to solve a certain problem. Just put it out the way you would talk to somebody, over a Zoom call or even, at the
Hmm.
bar. I think that's a good one to think. It's like, all right, imagine you're at the bar, you're just with somebody or someone
Yeah.
you just met,
Yep.
and it's like, how would you tell them? Would you be like, hold on, let me pull out my phone real quick and see what I would say to this
Yeah,
person? It's
yeah,
like,
dude.
no, dude, no.
Exactly. Exactly. That's how
Yeah.
you have to think about it too. Like, I guess another thing we could dive into real quick is like, with email, you're essentially competing with other businesses. Like, you know how
Hmm.
many emails we get every single freaking day? I think, I get grilled all the time by my friends. I have like 50,000 emails in my, no, 75,000,
Oh,
76.
yeah.
See
There
that?
you
Like,
go.
you know how many emails I get a day? It's like
Yeah.
you're competing with other businesses and companies at the end of the day.
Hmm.
You think they're going to open another email and just being like, something super vague as standard marketing,
Yeah.
like tell a story, tell a message, stand out a little bit. Like
Yeah.
that's you getting them to open the email is the whole first half of the battle. And then
Yeah.
you gotta pull them down and tell a story. It's just like
Hmm.
step away, this is contingent on what business you're running. Okay.
Yeah.
Don't say I'm telling you to write an insane story if you're like a nonprofit or something. But
For
again,
real.
even there with a nonprofit, there's places to do stuff like this.
Oh yeah.
Um, have some judgment there. But
Yeah.
it's just like end of the day, you got to get a little creative. Everyone's doing the same thing. And literally, if you don't believe me, sign up for a bunch of other different email lists in your market or your niche right now and just see what people are doing. I mean, I was just
Hmm.
talking to Diego about that. I was signing up to, I always like to have myself on different email lists with competitors of my clients, and
Hmm.
I'm telling them about Black Friday, and I was like, I really didn't see anything crazy this year. Like, I think there was a lot of similar promotions, a lot of the same wording, and I wonder
Hmm.
why. They're all using AI. Nobody's getting creative with it, and it's just like, that's the whole first half. It's just like get
Yeah.
creative, have fun. Like literally, like you're having a conversation with your buddy. That should be the
Hmm.
frame. You hold with your emails. So,
Yeah.
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 So.
I love that. That wraps, I think that's good for the AI talk.
Mhm.
I could go on about
Yeah,
AI forever.
that gets our blood
Dude,
pressure going.
yeah, it does. It really does. And another thing that gets my blood pressure really going is when, and this would all tie together, even with the emails, but I don't want to be so salesy.
Hmm.
I don't want to ruin my brand. I've heard these things, from clients. I don't want to be so salesy, and it's just a whole mind trip for me because it's like, wait, hold on. You don't want to sell your product. You don't want to you don't want to provide value to the world here. You have an audience. You have
Hmm.
something of value to offer them. You want to put it out there that much. Maybe this doesn't hit that much with you, Gavin, because I know your clients may not have had this, or maybe at
No,
points there has been
yeah,
this
no, yeah,
talk.
definitely. I've had this talk with clients a couple times.
Yeah.
I think this kind of stems, it can almost stem from like an offer in, uh, I guess this is how I view it. So it's like, I don't want to be too salesy. Like that's my
Hmm.
concern as a business owner right now.
Yeah.
Half of that is literally just like, some type of imposter syndrome or just like a mental hurdle you need to get over. And then the other
Yeah.
half is like, you know, what I tell my clients in that situation is like, if you believe in your product and you believe in your offer,
Hmm.
then essentially you're doing the world a disservice if you don't promote it. And I
Yeah.
think that's like, Diego and I have to drink the Kool-Aid there. It's like, I think part of us are like so, part of us not like sharing what we talk about in just marketing in general is solely due because we don't know if we want to like put ourselves out there. And like we
Yeah.
just don't have the, I guess, like interest you can say in doing it. But it's
Hmm.
like, we've learned so much and we've watched clients spend endless amounts of money. Like how many times have we gone to a client and they're like, "Oh, I already spent 30 grand on setting that up." And I'm just like, "Why
Yeah.
are you
Like I
telling me
spent
right now?"
10,000 or $20,000 on a website, like something
Exactly.
crazy. It's like, what are you doing?
Exactly. So it's like we feel like we're doing a disservice if we don't
Hmm.
start to put out this information. And it's just like, if you
Yeah.
truly feel that within your offer, then there's your answer right there. You just got to put it out into the world because people are going to buy regardless. And it's like,
Hmm.
do you want them to buy the best product in that market, which is yours? Yes.
Hmm.
And then if you don't truly believe that, then maybe you need to switch the offer or whatever you're selling to
Yeah.
actually believe that. That way you can get over that hurdle of not acting salesy.
Yeah.
And I think too, it's like, from an email marketing standpoint, like people think you need to write an email in a salesy way. Like,
Hmm.
reach out to Diego and I, and we'll send you the emails that we write consistently. They're not really salesy at all.
No.
If anything, it's like, every email has a CTA. We sell in basically every email we write. But like
Yeah.
you can go to my website, my
Hmm.
blog, and check out the emails that I write to my daily list. I'm not even doing any selling in that. And
Hmm.
we can send you emails that we write for our clients.
Hey, I
We're
think we
not,
should do that. We should definitely offer that. If you're a business
yeah,
owner right now, you're listening
yeah.
and you want to know the types of emails that we write and that are generating sales right now,
Mhm.
we'll send you a list. Gavin will send you some, I'll send you some. We'll put it together in
Yeah.
a doc. Uh,
We can even like write up three emails for you. Like
that too.
you know, if you're really interested, like what that could look like for your niche, maybe you're a
Hmm.
baker, or maybe you're a hotel owner, or maybe you're you own a cleaning company or a restaurant or a coffee
Hmm.
shop, whatever it is, you
Yeah,
can reach
any
out to us
business.
and
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. You can reach out to us and be like, like how would I go about this? For
Hmm.
something like a coffee shop or a restaurant owner, Diego and I would focus on telling like whatever's going on in the restaurant or the coffee shop that day. Like maybe you
Yeah.
had a customer come in where they had their first date and now they're engaged. That'd be a crazy email, right?
Dude,
That's
and the
not
thing,
anything to do with marketing.
something I just noted from you starting to say that is that
Yeah,
there's a smile that started to grow because this
yeah,
is the whole point of this. This is to get like
yeah,
this is to just to be engaging. It's to be
yeah.
get bring some excitement into the inbox, bring some excitement into
Hmm.
that person who's gonna read that email and make it
Hmm.
a cool experience for them. Because again, you're competing against all these other let's just
Hmm.
call them AI emails or whatever, all these other competitors.
Hmm.
The messaging is bland. It's just boring to even want to open that email, or it's super what is the word? Just like exactly what they're gonna pitch you there. It's like,
Hmm.
oh, here's
Yeah.
30% off. Here's this offer. Try this
Hmm.
out. And it's like
Hmm.
there's no fun about that.
Yeah.
And that's what is getting them buried into the promotion, buried, you know, with a pile of more emails on top, and
Hmm.
they're never going to get opened or read. So,
Exactly.
yeah, yeah.
Exactly, dude. And I guess for the person that might be watching this, like, we're kind of explaining email marketing side of things, but maybe on social media, you're a little skeptical to be, I don't want to be too salesy. Like, what do I do there? And it's just like,
Hmm.
tell a story about your day. Again, we go back to what Diego said earlier, the best type
Hmm.
of videos that people relate with on Instagram or Facebook, or wherever you're posting, whatever medium that is. It's like
Hmm.
they're just real conversations that people are going to relate with at the end of the day. And I think if
Yeah,
somebody relates with you at the end of the day, they're going to be interested in what you have to offer or sell. So,
exactly.
um, and then in the coffee shop instance, it's just like, it's more about selling somebody coffee through the email, but just encouraging them to come back into the shop again. It's just like if you can create that warm, cozy feeling that somebody has when they're in a coffee shop through writing or words in general, then like ultimately that's going to influence them to come back into the shop. So there's
Yeah,
a bunch of different
exactly.
ways to go about that. Again, I think you can reach out to Diego and I. If you're like really questioning what that could be for your market and your niche or whatever business you run, we're more than happy to whip up like three emails for you just to show
Hmm.
you like, hey, this is where you could go. So,
Exactly.
um,
Yeah.
yeah, you want to dive into the next one here? What is this? Our last one? Last kind of question or
Would it
topic?
be this one right here? Talking to their market?
Yeah, right. Because that would, and then maybe we can
Yeah.
we can go into at the end. We'll dive into, um, just some like standard basic information, like where
Hmm.
should I get started with an email list? What systems or softwares are good to use? How to go
Yeah.
about that? So,
Okay, so talking to your market, this is important to know. I guess when I wrote this out, where I was coming at it was from where people are in terms of their awareness level. I get like that's like the broader, more marketing term, but it's like
mhm,
really like if you have them on your Instagram versus where if you have them on your email list, how does the way that you talk to them change? And I think, is that kind of what you were thinking too with
yeah,
that?
yeah,
Yeah. So, I mean, this is what I wanted to get into earlier. But it just all of this ties together. But essentially, like if you have someone on your Instagram, versus having them on your email list. There's going to be a different way about going about the communication and just talking to them, writing to them.
Hmm.
On your Instagram, let's just say the way that I view this is, how easy is it for someone to follow you to just hit the follow button? It's really easy. If you're on Instagram
Hmm.
and you see a post, but these days the algorithm just pushes posts and whatever's popping,
Mm.
and you see someone, or maybe it's an ad. So you just
Yeah.
follow the person that pops up because you like the post. And so now you're following them. That was like super low barrier. Like there was no friction in following them. And
Hmm.
so these people, it's like, yeah, there's ways through your Instagram stories for you to, again, just tell stories and be
Mm.
this funny person. Um, but now when they come onto your email list, like this is the way that I was thinking about going with this question is
Hmm.
like now there are people who are taking more extra, some extra steps into getting into your realm, into getting on
Mm.
your email list. And so these are people who are like at the very bottom of that funnel. They're very curious about what you got to offer. They're
Hmm.
very curious about your just your takes, your
Hmm.
worldviews, essentially. You have something to say that they want to tune into every day.
Hmm.
And so I think that changes the layers of how personal you can get.
Hmm.
And how let's see, like yeah, I guess you can really showcase your personality there.
Hmm.
And not hold back on telling a funny story, maybe even dropping a curse word if that's something you do, like just drop it in there maybe, and it's
Mm.
perfectly fine. I think that's what I wanted to touch on with the email list versus someone
Yeah.
on your Instagram.
Mm.
They can kind of, it's the same sometimes with
Hmm.
like Instagram stories. You can showcase a lot of that deeper personality. You should not hold back from that.
Mm.
But on the email list, I always try to make it something exclusive. I think
Hmm.
that's the key word here.
Yeah.
And because it is something exclusive, we want to talk to that market, talk to that audience on that list in a way and provide them value in a different way than what you would provide on Instagram.
Mm. Yeah,
So yeah.
I think with that, like it could even stem back to like, why email marketing in the first place? Like why am I
Hmm.
putting my effort into this? Like
Yeah, that's what I had in mind.
why am I trying to send out like three times emails per week? Like why is that
Hmm.
going to be beneficial for me at the end of the day?
Exactly.
Um, and what Diego was saying is essentially it's just like it's a much better frame to have a customer in. Well, with
Yeah.
social media, somebody chooses to follow you, they see your stuff on social media, they swipe, they scroll, maybe they think
Hmm.
about you. Where email, it's just like, when they receive an email from Best Bakery, they're going to open the email from Best Bakery solely to read about Best Bakery. It's just a totally
Yeah.
different frame, and it takes a specific type of person to sign up for an email list in the first
Yeah.
place. So that's why, you know, you see that sets that ROI. What's that stat with email marketing? It's like
Hmm.
$36 back on
Something like
average for
that.
every $1 invested on email marketing. And it's
Right.
solely because of that frame that social media doesn't really offer.
Hmm.
That's not to say you can't do any selling on social media, but it's just like
Right.
it's basically like Sonic and Knuckles, right? You get that power combo of social media and
Hmm.
email, and that's
Yeah.
that's really what's going to take someone from you know low in sales to achieving and thriving in their
Oh
business.
yeah.
So I
Yeah.
think another thing too I wanted to talk about in that aspect too was just the point of um, talking to their market in general about like,
Hmm.
hey, like what's going on.
Hmm.
So maybe Diego, you can talk about that a
Oh,
little bit.
okay. That's
Yeah.
actually where that
Well,
question came
no,
in.
I mean, I think that was a good point that we just
Yeah.
brought up, but there's
Yeah.
there's kind of two things here as well. Um, we think about the person who's kind of struggling to maybe sell in their business consistently, and they're just
Yeah.
like, where am I going wrong? Maybe you already have all these marketing platforms set up, email marketing, social
Right.
media, whatever that is, and you're just not seeing the results. Like, where do I go from there? Like, what am I doing wrong?
Hmm.
And this is kind of something you can do to kind of see where you're at, where your audience is at, which Diego is
Exactly.
gonna.
So to dive into that, it's all about going back to the basics, back to the
Yes.
principles,
Hmm.
back to research, doing that dirty work. All
Yep.
right. So that's during the research process. this is where us copywriters, marketers, like that's what we do.
Hmm.
But, as a business owner, how do you go about thinking about research? And why am I bringing up research in the first place? Well, in this research, this is where you're going to get that really heavy hitting content. I think this is the biggest
Hmm.
problem is when you're not seeing your content on Instagram or content on your email, the things you're posting about and talking about, if they're not resonating and it's not leading to sales, it's because you're not talking about anything of interest, when you start talking about things that really interest your market and really get them going, whether that's through like actually with emotion and like it gets them excited to learn more or to just to learn, just to hear from you. When
Hmm.
you're bringing up these conversations, they're gonna want to show up more. And so how do you do that is you just got to know your market, and it goes back to research. And so one of the simplest ways to do research as a business owner is to literally just talk to your market.
Hmm.
It
Yeah.
sounds so simple, but it's so easy to do, and you can do this every single day, and it doesn't even take much. But here's what I suggest is if you can record it, you can hop on a call with a client or a customer, and if you can talk to them and just ask them questions about your business or like what they like, what would they like to see more of, and really it's going to depend on what kind of offer you have. Like if you have a bakery, you're not going to ask them like, why are you what's gonna like what's keeping you up at night? I don't think you're
Yeah.
going to ask them that question. But if you have
I
like,
guess the questions there could be like, what type of bread do you like what are you
yeah,
eating? I mean, for a
yeah,
bakery, it'll probably be a little easier because you can just take inventory on what people are buying. But
yeah.
um, yeah, sorry, I don't know.
No, that's
I'm
good.
hungry now.
Yeah, donuts. That sounds good.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think for a bakery, like,
maybe a
if we're
potential
if
competitor as well.
yeah, it's
Like,
like where else are you going for donuts or
mhm,
for cookies or
yeah,
whatever,
yep,
and why? And
hmm,
then it's like, what kind of events do you like getting? For what kind of events would you want to come and get some donuts?
yeah.
And then making, and so you're gonna get all this information from your market, straight from your
W-
market.
One thing about that too, I'll add. Sorry to interrupt.
No,
It's
no,
like
good.
I think perfect example there would be, why do less people tend to go to a bakery to get like a donut compared to Dunkin' Donuts? It would be like convenience.
Mm,
In that
convenience.
situation, the business owner of the bakery or whatever could just be like, okay, what if I have some type of online order
Mm,
where I can just set this up and you can order every single week and just literally
100%.
get a DoorDash to your door.
Yeah.
Finding the reason or whatever it is there, and this is
Hmm.
with a bakery. We can it's just an analogy, but
Yeah. Well, I'll just from personal experience, when I've hopped on these client interview calls, that's what I call them.
mhm,
It's not all just like you're gonna get the good content and like the insight as to what your market's actually thinking. It's also gonna give you like actual product development insights, like you just
mhm,
said right now, to the convenience. Maybe it's time to implement an online ordering system, right?
mhm,
Like one that I can think of right now is I was talking to this client, well, customer, and they were telling us how, or they were telling me how there wasn't like a community aspect to this specific online program. And they were just saying how maybe like that added layer would be something that would help them with the
mhm,
accountability. And this is a fitness offer, by the way. And so I reported that to the business owner that I'm working with. And he was like, "Yeah, this is something we could easily set up."
yeah,
And it was like, boom. It's like
mhm,
now we just improve the value of the product.
mhm,
And that was all from this research call. So there's a lot of value you're going to get from talking to your audience and listening to them. And so, yeah, if you can talk to them, maybe if you're a physical business, you can talk to them one-on-one. Maybe ask them if it's okay if I can press record on my phone real quick and
mhm,
just ask you a couple questions. If
mhm,
you're doing this through like for an online business, a lot of my clients are all, for the most part, online businesses. So it's just about getting on a call with them, recording it like a Zoom call,
mhm.
and asking them some questions, and then they're gonna give it to you. right there, all on a silver platter. And
Yeah.
like again,
Diego, Diego and I were talking about this earlier. I really think like the best way to start making more sales in your business, if you're just like stuck on like, hey, where do I do? It's literally call
hmm
your top five customers, say hello, and then just mute your phone literally for an hour straight and just let them
yeah,
talk.
yeah,
We joke about that, but like, for our client calls where we're trying to gather information on what's going on and the business of the client's lives for that
hmm
week to write and portray in an email for them that week. We literally
hmm
ask like a few questions and then we basically just shut up because
yeah,
the goal, this is what Ben Settle talks about too. He's
yeah,
just like, the goal is whatever they're just gonna, whatever top of mind for them at the moment.
hmm
And you'll easily get that from whether it's a customer or whatever type of business is. You can learn a lot from just
hmm
what a customer has to say.
yeah.
So um,
I think that goes for life.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
like,
dude.
dude, stop talking, shut up.
Sometimes, right? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Sometimes you just gotta know when to be quiet compared to hey, maybe I should talk here.
yeah, exactly.
So
Well, I guess let's recap. Oh no, no, no. We still got some juicy stuff for you. What systems, what platforms? Let's dive into
mm,
that, and then we
yeah.
can we can recap everything in terms of like takeaways
Hmm.
that you can start implementing and start thinking about more for your
Hmm.
business. I think that's all really good.
Yeah. So I guess you, Diego, if you had like two different types of I guess you could say platforms to go all in on,
hmm
email being one of them,
For sure.
what software are you going to recommend for that? And then like, social media as well. I guess
hmm
it depends for each business, right? Like I think,
hmm
some businesses would probably thrive a lot better on Facebook compared to Instagram.
Right.
Some would be um a lot better on Instagram compared to Facebook.
Yeah.
I guess from like a vague standpoint, like what would you recommend there for email and some type of social platform?
Yeah, well, for social platform, I'll just say it's wherever your market is. That's
Hmm.
the best answer. I've had I remember someone asking in a local community once, like a lady was, she had like a what is it, like a personal trainer
Mm,
offer. She was a personal trainer, and she wanted to know like, hey, where should I start promoting like all you business owners in the area? And nobody was saying like, dude, where's your audience? Like everyone's like, yeah, Facebook, Instagram. And I was like, dude, yeah, like obviously those are the big ones. Those are a
hmm.
no-brainer. And I would probably also suggest that. But at the end of the day, it's like, who are your clients and where
Yeah.
are they? Where do they hang out? That's
Hmm.
the number one place you should be showing up in. For some people that's maybe it's Pinterest. I don't know.
Hmm.
Maybe
Yeah.
it's X or
Twitter.
Twitter. What yeah,
Yeah.
Twitter. Maybe it's YouTube.
Hmm.
So wherever they love to hang out the most, like prioritize
Hmm.
that. And then of course the email list for reasons we've already gone into. But for email, a good platform, and I guess this is a new one that I started
Yeah.
testing with, but I love it.
Yeah.
It's called Berserker Mail,
Hmm.
and it's a it's not a big named like you got MailChimp, you got
Hmm.
ConvertKit, those who are already familiar with like these platforms, like you know what I'm talking
Hmm.
about. But essentially, this platform is all about deliverability and it's
Hmm.
all about landing in the primary box, which again, because you're competing with all these people, like why wouldn't you want to optimize to get in that primary folder?
Mm, yeah, that
So
could be a whole nother episode, just
this is a whole nother
deliverability
talk. Yeah.
in alone. Maybe
hmm
dive into the I'm thinking about first time business owner, we got different businesses here.
Yeah, for
Dive
sure.
into the Berserker, what the caveat is with that and kind of our philosophy around like the whole imagery in emails too,
Right.
because I know that comes up with a lot of clients of mine too. They're just like, oh, would a picture be good here? And I'm just like,
Yeah.
no.
Okay, so look, I'm gonna say first that I'm not like the most techiest guy out there,
Mhm.
but when it comes to email, from a philosophy and just like effectiveness standpoint, what you really want to do is get in there, write the email, upload it, hit send, and get out of there. You don't want to spend hours and hours inside of this email
Hmm.
platform. You know, you're a business owner. You got things to
Especially if you're
do.
busy. Yeah.
Yeah, you're very busy. You got all these things to take care of, and the last thing you want to do is spend hours, and even 30 minutes sometimes seems like a lot, and it
Hmm.
can be,
It adds up.
it adds up a lot. So Berserker Mail is the perfect platform, I would say, for you, and I highly suggest it for anybody who's super busy and just
Hmm.
wants to get the email out and
Hmm.
get out of there quick. So that being said, this platform, the cool thing, I say the cool thing is
Hmm.
that there's no, you can't drag and drop any images. There's no
Yeah.
headers to this. Why this is effective too is because when once you start uploading pictures and images, it starts to, Gmail and all these email
Mm.
platforms, it starts to like trigger promotion, or it's like this
Mm.
is some kind of business, and it's like this isn't yeah, this is a whole talk in and of itself, but
Yeah. I think
it
do you mind if I,
yeah,
yeah,
go
sorry.
ahead.
I think there it's like, yeah, so the platform that he's recommending, Berserker Mail,
Mm-hmm.
like doesn't even allow images, right?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, so like you
You
can't
can't.
put images in your email. So use some discernment there with like whether that's something you want long term or not, because once you sign up, you can't put
Mm-hmm.
images in your email and you can switch platforms.
Yeah.
Another good one too is if you want to have the option to add images. I've really liked ConvertKit recently. I think you
Yeah.
get that same, Diego and I use that for our personal list as well.
Mm-hmm.
You get that same like, it's in and it's out.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's less CRM-y.
Yeah.
So it's not like a huge software. You load up the email and then bang, you send. You can include images if you want. So
Yep.
yeah, I mean, I think that, yeah. So I would say like ConvertKit if you want images, Berserker Mail if you're
Yeah.
all in on like the no image train. I think that,
Hmm.
we tend to lean. Sometimes I'll put images in for my clients. It all depends
Right.
on the business they're running. But the reason we try to stray, and again, I think this is totally different if you're like an ecom business as well.
Yeah.
Diego and I do a lot more like direct response marketing,
Hmm.
stuff where you're going to connect with someone a lot more by just writing through the screen.
Hmm.
The whole thing with the images to like the text-based emails is like, you know,
Hmm.
the best image you can have is the image that pops into your head whenever you're reading a sentence. So it's like,
Yeah.
if I'm talking about, my 5-year-old child running through a corn maze, holding cotton candy in his right hand, and then a slingshot in his left hand, and then he puts the slingshot in his mouth, all while doing that, like you had a picture come to your head there. It's
Yeah.
like, there is no image that's going to replicate that perfectly. The
No.
image is going to be the one that pops into your
Yeah.
head, and that's like a whole psychology thing. So
Hmm.
I don't know, we're not like the biggest fans of images. That's why Berserker Mail could be good if you want to go down that route. Again, Diego and I are here as resources. If you want images,
Right.
you can use ConvertKit, and we're not affiliates for any of these things
No,
or,
we're
or
not.
anything, but
I'd love to one day for sure. But
yeah, that'd be sweet, huh? Yeah,
yeah.
feel free to reach out to us if you're just like, yo, what do I use? You could
Yeah.
may even benefit from something like Go High Level where you have that CRM software.
Yeah.
Um,
Just depends on your business and what your goals are. But if
yeah.
you just want to have email set up, you want to get rolling with it quick, ConvertKit, and that gives you the options to always drop in images if you want.
Hmm.
And yeah,
Yeah.
it's a good one.
Yeah. Um, I think, what else do we really need to dive in here too, or you kind of want to call it here?
Well, I guess just to add one last thing to that, those
Hmm.
platforms as well, you can build in those opt-in pages where those are the ones you'll link out on your Instagram, whatever
Hmm.
social platform you're using. It's super easy to just build an opt-in page really, really quickly.
Hmm.
And even like a
Simple.
follow-up email that
Yeah.
like the autoresponder one. And
I'll say
yeah.
this too right now. I think whenever the business owner does get, into email marketing,
Hmm.
they go absolutely ballistic with it. It's like
Yeah.
they have 19 different sequences, they
Hmm.
have, 30 different lead magnets. It's just like, keep it simple,
Keep
stupid.
it
It's like,
simple. Yeah.
if you're got all this stuff going on, don't ground yourself behind it. Is ground even a word? I don't even know what that means.
It could
I
be. Yeah, it is.
don't
It is today. It is now.
don't put yourself in the situation where you're stuck behind your laptop creating 16 different automations because you think you're maximizing sales on your email list. Like literally, if you're worried about that, create one lead magnet. You don't even need a lead magnet if you really don't want to. Create a cool opt-in page, put that out there and just being like, hey, I'm writing, you know, oh, we can also tie into how many emails they should be writing a week. But
Yeah.
really keep it simple. It's like opt-in page, maybe a lead magnet, a good lead magnet. If you're going to create a shitty one, then don't even put it out there.
No.
And then, you know, once they sign up, they get emails from you. That's it. You can
Hmm.
tie into all the other stuff down the line. I think just getting that in place is going to be
Hmm.
really good for you. So,
100%.
yeah, another question too, I think from the outside lens that, the
Yeah.
first kind of call we hop on with clients is like, how many emails should I be sending a week? And it really
Yeah.
all depends on goals, your offer, whatever that is. I
Hmm.
think Diego and I are really have started to grown as fans of daily emails.
Yeah.
Like the question that comes up there is, what about the person that just simply doesn't want to hear from me in every single day.
Right.
um you know is that person going to buy from you in the first place? Are they going to be you know a loyal customer of yours? Maybe they could be and they just don't want to hear from you. But again, it's just like,
Hmm.
if you're writing these fun emails every single day, I don't think, I think a high majority of current customers of yours would want to read that if they're interested
Yeah.
in what you have to sell,
They'll stick
what you,
along.
yeah, exactly. So
Hmm.
it's just like, don't be too worried about the unsubscribe rates.
Hmm.
And it doesn't have to be,
You
it doesn't
want
have to,
unsubscribes. That's another
yeah,
conversation.
dude.
We'll go
Yeah.
into that.
Yeah, I
But yeah,
really don't concern yourself with unsubscribes because it's like the person who's unsubscribing was never going to buy from you. Don't tailor to
exactly.
the email to, the people who are unsubscribing. Like it's just
No.
like you're trying to keep people on your list, but in return you're making 50% less sales. Like where does that make
Right.
sense? If they
Yeah.
want to unsubscribe, then screw them later. Go
Yeah.
subscribe to another list that's going to
Exactly.
tailor to them. It doesn't
Yep.
matter. It doesn't matter. So it's like, it doesn't have to be every single day. I think that,
Hmm.
you know, I think ultimately that is the goal if you're a super crammed business owner.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, I mean, but seriously, there could be another argue there. It's like, what's the most valuable thing a business owner could do every single day?
Write an
Right to your
email.
email list.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Write to your email
Exactly.
list.
So, I mean,
Yeah.
there really is no excuse at the end of the day. I mean, you can build it up, start with 3 emails per week, see how, get your writing feelings
Get your
going.
flow in.
Yeah,
Yep.
get your flowing, see how people are responding to that, build up to five. And then if you're just like, okay, every single day, it'll just become like common nature to you. It's just like,
Hmm.
Diego and I talk about this all the time. We're doing stuff, we're out with friends or whoever, and it's just like, oh, just had an email idea, pop it into the notes, and then you write it
Yep.
tomorrow.
Exactly.
You sit down on your laptop, and it doesn't have to be an hour occurrence.
Yeah.
I think the more you write, the less it's just like, okay, this doesn't have to be perfect, and you just get in the flow and you send it
Yeah.
out. So,
Yeah,
um,
that wraps up everything because that's
yeah,
this is what it's all about. It's not
yeah,
using AI. Don't worry about it being perfect.
hmm
Uh, don't worry about being salesy because you're gonna be just talking and bringing up interesting points of conversations. And then yeah, you're always gonna be talking to your market. I'm just going down the list right here. This is
yeah,
everything
yeah,
we put together here, and
hmm
then yeah, the system is that 1-2 combo. The social
hmm
with the email list, it's like a
hmm
non-negotiable, honestly.
yeah.
And yeah, for
Focus on referrals there. I think
mhm,
anytime you can get referral too is super great. Writing emails with the fact like, hey, I want this to be so kick ass that they're gonna
mhm.
send it to their friends. I mean, you could even ask that in the email, just like, hey, if this email resonated, share it with a friend.
Yeah,
So yeah,
yeah. It doesn't always have to be like, hey, buy my thing.
yeah,
It could be like, yo, go check out this other post that I
mhm,
just uploaded on Instagram or
yeah,
on
yeah,
Facebook. Yeah,
hmm
there's so many different ways about going with email. And at the end of the day, think back to your goals. What is it that you want? But I can be so sure that growing an email list will always fuel that goal, or
hmm
fuel you towards those goals that you are probably thinking about right now, which
hmm
I would say the majority, it's probably like, all right, increase the
yeah,
revenue, just grow
yeah,
the business, um, profit more.
Hmm.
Because I'm sure, if you're a business owner, you're thinking about maybe ads or like just creating more content. Dude, writing an
Yeah.
email is like the simplest thing. It's like you don't have to worry about the cameras. You don't have to worry about editing a video. It's just writing an email, uploading it, boom, and you did uh, yeah, you're selling or you're talking for the day and you're good.
Let's talk about that real quick because I think a lot of people, again, we brought up that point where, we talk to clients and we ask them like, hey, what have you done before? And there's probably people that reach out to them just like, hey,
Hmm.
implement this for, you know, so and so $1,000.
Hmm.
I think Diego and I are here as resources at the end of the day. You can reach out as like being like a, hey, is this worth it? Should I be doing it? But
Hmm.
if you don't even have an email list set up and you're not sending, more than once a week,
Hmm.
and somebody says like, oh, we need to do this, we need to set up this $15,000 funnel. It's just like, whoa, like let's pedal it back a little bit.
Yeah.
You could benefit so much more long term
Yeah.
if you just put in the effort and the resources into an email list and growing that.
Yeah.
Because that's something you'll have. It's just like,
Hmm.
you can write to that daily and it's not like a one quick thing. You'll always have that and grow that as a resource. So,
Yeah.
um,
I think that's the biggest takeaway is too is this email listing, it's is an asset. Like this
mhm,
is by far your biggest asset
mhm.
in terms of your business.
The
Like
lifeblood.
the lifeblood of your business is this
Hmm.
email list.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think we
I agree,
freaking
dude.
nailed a lot of things here. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we can probably cap it at there.
Yeah.
We Yeah, and I think we'll try to get some type of feedback on this, send it to some people, and
Hmm.
we'll probably put it up on YouTube or something, see if we get any
Yeah.
particular comments. And
I
I
think
think
just
we're just kind of like scratching the surface with each topic here. As I mentioned, there's
yeah.
definitely different levels to each thing.
Oh
And
yeah.
all depending on, what your goals are, what your specific business is, and where you want to go with it. I mean, that's the basically the thing that Diego and I asked every single one of our clients on the first
Hmm.
call. It's like, before I even try to sell you, I don't even know, I don't even know if I can help you at the end of the
Yeah.
day. So it's really understanding like, where it is you want to go with that going from there. So
Yeah. So I guess this is what we ask here is feel free to drop us any question
yeah,
wherever you see this, if this is like from an email or
social
in a
media, I guess.
YouTube, whatever, drop us questions. We're here to solve and not to solve, but
Hmm.
to help you, to guide you through the question and to get you some clarity.
Hmm.
If we can do that. Yeah, we'll
Yeah,
absolutely do it. Yeah.
yeah. And that's not even from like a, try to sell you down the line
Mhm.
frame later. It's just like, we want to be a resource to those people. I think Diego and I are
We're
pretty
at that
jammed on
level
the day
now.
to day as it
Yeah.
is. So it's just
Yeah.
like, that doesn't mean we're not available to people that need it, but just like, you know, we're super passionate about this. So it's literally just like, we want to help people at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, and
cool.
shoot us any ideas too if you have something
Yeah.
that's like,
Yeah.
oh,
We can
I
do like
would
a
love to
whole,
hear, I would love to
yeah.
hear this from you guys. What do you guys think about
Yeah.
this? Dude,
Because odds
this is the
are,
beginning.
yeah, odds are
Yeah.
we've already dealt with it like multiple times. And, I
Oh
don't
yeah.
think any question is silly. So,
Yeah. There is no
yeah.
silly questions.
But we'll drop our websites, our socials, and stuff here, so you guys can our email list too.
Email
What am I
list.
talking about? We'll drop
Yeah,
our
dude.
email list.
We're dropping our email list. That's it.
I love it. Cool.
Right on. That wraps it up.
Oh, should we go into the name real quick, or
Yeah,
we'll
yeah.
leave that out? I don't know. Whatever
We'll leave
works.
it out and we'll
Yeah,
bring it
we'll
into the
come
next
back.
one.
All right,
Yeah.
cool. Sweet.
Yeah, maybe yeah, so we can stop that recording and then let's see if that gets uploaded.